Tune in to find out about Daniel.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello.
Hello.
Good day. Good day to all.
It is a very good day. It is Sunday, and it's fucking nice again. That
It's a
makes
beautiful
me happy.
weekend. It's a wrap up to a beautiful weekend, Daniel.
Yes, and Jed's not here, so it's perfect.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of hooky.
He's been playing a lot of his company is going through an audit or something, so he's got to work.
Blah, blah, blah. My job is ruining my life. Here's another excuse why this isn't important to me. Blah, blah, blah.
No.
Yeah, be like me. Quit your job. Actually, I didn't quit. I got fired. But, leave your job
That's subjective.
to do this.
They fill out the paperwork. They can tell the story how they want, but we know how it all really happened.
I mean,
You pulled a half-baked.
I shouldn't have told my boss that she should have done her job better and then not showed up to work. That probably would have not got me fired, but...
Did you take off your pants?
No.
That's
No,
good.
but funny story. There was one day I was sitting there, and I farted, and it was not a fart.
Oh.
And I had to go home early, so...
What?
I shit myself.
Oh, God. Okay.
Were you drinking a couple of cocktails, few suds the night before?
No, I had,
A
I
little
think,
bit of a
4 or
bug.
5 cups of coffee that morning,
Ooh.
and I'd probably eaten something late at night, and my stomach was just upset anyway, and I kept drinking coffee, and I was just... Nope. Had to go home.
Excellent.
Anyway,
The floodgate was
enough
open.
about... Yeah.
Enough about your bowels, old man.
So thanks again for tuning in. This week we have Spike Yee proper and Voyce Atlas. Stopped by a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago. A lot of fun.
I unfortunately was not able to attend.
Yes, Jed
Dude.
was
Neither
here.
was I.
They actually live streamed this one on Facebook, so some people may have heard it already.
Beautiful.
So that way, I'm not going to do any editing to it because the fact that everybody's already seen it. So if there was something in there we shouldn't have said, you've already seen it. It's already out there, so it'll be all right.
We're not big on the censoring thing anyway.
No, not
You're getting
anymore.
it. You're getting it. You're
Yeah.
just going to get it. You're going to do the real people. The T's.
Yes.
That's
And
what
it was
this
a good
is
interview. I enjoyed the conversation. We had some really cool conversations afterwards that I wish that we would have talked about during the episode, but that's how things go.
I love Josh. I've been friends with him for a long time. He's a Morgantown high homie for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out Josh May, a.k.a. Spike Yee. Love you,
And
buddy.
Voice. Voice is fucking awesome, too.
Yeah.
They're both great.
Yeah. I didn't realize until like 3 or 4 days ago that, 'cause I play a lot of games online and proper, and he didn't realize it until Daniel Ludwig said something that we have actually played a lot of games together, but we had no idea.
What game?
Until, Fortnite, Apex, things like that.
Throwing down in the shooters.
Yeah. And he was like, after Daniel Ludwig told proper, he was like, oh shit, that is him. I do know that voice. So I thought it was kind of cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to
Met
rekindle
some
that bromance.
online friend. It was beautiful. Anyway,
Did it feel good? Did it feel real when you got to finally see him in person?
You weren't
I didn't know
catfished?
until after the interview. That's
So
the
you
thing.
didn't feel anything?
No.
Oh.
I mean, he is a very beautiful man, but I didn't feel anything, The table wasn't tilting in one direction or anything while I was interviewing him.
Well, that helps my ego then.
But yeah.
I'm still in the runnings.
Yeah. That's why the table's always tilted towards you whenever we interview.
Oh, my gosh.
It's wonderful.
Anyway, we've got a few businesses to give you some information about. So we'll start with...
We got Sculpted Living, Daniel. We got Sculpted Living. They're creating modern homework designs and yardscapes for the professional young man or woman in 2019 and beyond. Please check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and sculptedliving.com.
Woo!
Yeah.
Sculpted Living.
We also have Gypsy Atelier by Mary Elena Oliverio, who does floral and event artistry. She does indoor and outdoor holiday events and staging rentals, so check
sorry.
her out. Thanks, Daniel.
Professional.
She does those things. Minus the burps.
Oh, actually, I'm going to say she's at Gypsy Atelier, too. Gypsy_Atelier on Instagram.
How do you spell that? Just because I can't even spell
True.
it.
GYPSY_ATELIER.
There you go.
Boom.
Cool. And last but not least, we have Ignite Entertainment Variety Show. They are the only premier and professional fire and burlesque show in the state of West Virginia. You can check them out on Facebook at Ignite Variety Show, online at ignitevarietyshow.com, and on Instagram at Ignite Variety Show. And their next show coming up is April 6th at the Mad Love 2019 Fringe Festival in Pittsburgh. And that is Saturday, April 6th. So yeah, definitely check them out. And we do have one other entity to talk to you about. And I will hand this off to Chris because he is so much better at this than I am. I've ran out of insults, essentially. So
Never run out. Bottomless pit. We would like to thank our good friends in Worst Kept Secret for donating a butchered at birth product of existence.
I don't know, man. It's my favorite song.
A song called Bender, a song that they don't even love. How can we love it? How can I say anything nice about it when they don't want to play it, they don't love it, and they clearly get irked when we talk about it? So, Pat Cole, your head looks like a... Sean, you look like you're doing great and you're very happy, but you're too nice. You need to grow some balls and be a dick every once in a while. Finally make a move. I'm tired of the sexual tension. So that's what I got to say about Worst Kept Secret. They have a show coming up, I believe, at 123 Pleasant Street with Byzantine.
I saw that, yeah.
I wish I knew the date. Look it up.
I'll look it up real quick.
Check out Worst Kept Secret on Spotify, iTunes, Rhapsody, Google, MySpace.
I'm kidding. I don't know.
They might be back on MySpace. People are starting to use it again.
IG. You know what it is. They're out there. They're playing gigs. Believe they got a show at 123 and at the Brew Still in Elkins coming up.
Yeah, they've got April 12th at the Strand.
Boom.
In Grafton. And April 19th as their EP/beer release. I don't know what they're releasing their own beer.
Ooh, through Big Timber?
Is it going to taste like fucking sadness? Because that's how I feel like it's going to taste.
You know what it probably tastes like? It probably tastes like the sweat that comes out of Pat Cole's ginger beard. Like some sort of terrible copper. You had some pennies sitting in some water out in the sun and then you drank it. Probably tastes like that. Mixed with mediocrity.
And a dash of salt.
I mean, like they're doing a $10 entry. This is at Brewstall.
Nice.
In Elkins, and they're doing a $10 entry, but that includes not only your entry, but you get a copy of their EP and one of their beers. It's was it Dirty? Dyrti?
Dirty.
The Dirty. Is that how you say it? Is it pronounced dirty or is it Dirty?
I'm not saying dear tay or dear tea. I'm saying dirty.
It's a dirty blonde beer.
Ooh, I love a blonde.
So this is the Jared
beer.
Miller beer. It's not the ginger beer. It's not the Pat Cole beer. It's the dirty blonde beer.
It still probably tastes like Jared Miller's stolen riffs. We love you guys at Worst Kept Secret. Please check them out. Bender, brought to you by Worst Kept Secret in every episode of Wasted Local Talent.
And be on the lookout for my band's single, Deception, dropping next month, along with our exclusive episode where we'll be giving you all a listen of that song. So that'll be the first place you can hear it is here. So if you want to hear it in its full length, we will have that out probably the second week of April, and you'll be able to hear that. And then later that month, we will be releasing the song. So
I just want to go on the record and seriously congratulate my friend Daniel Bonner in the Boys and After Atlas for getting together. Yeah. There's a lot of gusto. There's a lot of things cooking, and it's an exciting time for these guys, and you can see it.
I'm pumped.
So I'm excited for those guys. Go check them out. Be on the lookout for their stuff, man.
Yes.
Good dudes. Good, solid dudes. Better dudes than those worst kept secret guys. Way better.
Way better. Is there anything you want to add, Cecily? Anything coming up for you?
Nope.
Nope.
I just hope everyone's doing great.
My muffler fell off my car recently. If you want to PayPal me some money, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Or you can check Daniel out in...
my premium Snapchat. No, just kidding. I don't have that.
on the bulletin boards under Dirty Mike.
Dirty Mike.
DYRTI
DYRTI.
MYKEE.
E. 2 E's. It's like 2 C's. I'm just not thick. All right.
Can I actually, before we leave, maybe shamelessly plug something?
Yeah, go for it. That's what we're here for. Plug things.
Check out my band Disillusion Effect on August 12th, Friday, August 12th at Howlers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, playing with Shrouded in Neglect in the Breathing Process.
Boy.
Shout out Twisted Fate Productions for putting that on. And we are playing the following week, Wednesday, April 17th at 123 Pleasant Street, opening up for Spite, Fallujah, and a Buried Above Ground.
I want to take you back a second because the first date that you said August.
Oh, yeah. April.
I was like, that's pretty far out.
April 12th, April 17th.
All right.
Need to get my A words together.
Yep. Asshole.
You asshole.
That's where our minds go.
Yep.
The A word.
Right
to the
it
wrinkle.
always goes to the
right
A
to
word.
that good little wrinkle
The
stuff.
brown note.
All right. So here is Spike Yee, Proper, and Voyce Atlas. What's up, everybody? I'm Daniel,
And I'm Jed.
and today we're wasting our talent with
Spike Yee. And Proper.
Proper. You guys are hip-hop artists from Morgantown, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yep. So how long you guys been? You guys strictly together, like working together, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're just like we were just friends before we really started getting into the music, and then once we found out that we both were musicians of sorts, we just started kind of like putting stuff together. But I mean, we've been releasing stuff as kind of as a duo, like a producer rapper duo. You know what I mean? For maybe like 3 months now.
Yeah,
You
it was
think so?
what for second week of January, I believe we started.
Yeah.
So you produce?
Yeah, I'm the producer at the moment. Yeah. I mean, we work with other people also. It's not. I wouldn't say it's so strict.
It's not like exclusives, but like we like have worked together for a long time. Just like we've been friends, and we also live together. So we got a studio set up at the house. So it's just like, you know what I mean? It's
It
there.
is convenient too. Yeah. So definitely. So how long have you been rapping, and then how long have you been producing?
I've been rapping it's probably like a decade, like doing it like really like seriously. You know what I mean? I've been writing since I was like 12, like since like 99. So, but I really didn't start like recording until like college, and then after I got out of college is when I really started like making it something and really taking it seriously and doing it like as more than a hobby. Yeah, so but definitely taking it seriously for like almost a decade now.
Okay. And how's about you?
I've been producing. I actually produced in like the late '90s, early 2000s, a little bit. Some electronic music. I've been a musician pretty much forever. Like I'm a trumpet player. Started playing when I was 4. Drummer. I started when I was 13. Self-taught. With the help of my pops. Obviously, he's a musician also. Then pretty much just band lessons, not any really kind of formal classic lessons, and ended up going to college for music education, but then dropped out to be in a band.
Yeah. I know those feelings.
So did that whole little run. Band ended up falling apart. You know how it goes. And then came to West Virginia, ran into these guys, and then got all into the music again. DJ'd for a little while, and then been producing seriously on Ableton for probably about 5 years now.
Yeah, right.
Five.
Like 2013, 14.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where are you originally from?
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. And
I'm
Spike
from Morgantown.
From Morgantown. So you
Yeah.
you went to WVU, I'm assuming.
I actually did not go to WVU. Okay. It's funny because I
to assume.
I went
Yeah,
I went
there you
to well no because I almost did. I mean I took classes there while I was in like high school. I went to Morgantown High, but I ended up got the Promise Scholarship and got like admitted in WVU, but then I got accepted into like a school that I applied. It was Ohio University in Athens. I applied for their journalism school, and I didn't get in initially, but then they sent me like a letter like a couple months later, like right before I was about to start at WVU, and then saying that they had like reviewed my application again and decided to accept me into their school. And so I was like, well, all right, cool, I'll just do that then. And plus, like, I just kind of wanted to get out Morgantown for
Yeah.
a little bit, you know what I mean? Just see what else is out there and
Yeah,
stuff.
born there, went to high school there, then going to college there, it'd be just kind of stuck. You know?
Yeah. So it was nice to get out and just see. I mean, granted, Athens wasn't a huge change, you know what I mean? But just because it's a small college town as well. But it was just, a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, far enough away to where you're not stuck in that whole
Yeah,
West
exactly.
Virginia
It was
feel.
like far enough, but close enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
So, do you got anything of it?
I'm just listening. Every time I think of something to ask, you ask it.
Okay, all right. Sorry, this is Jed's first interview in a while. His baldness finally got to him.
Yeah, I had to
He's been in
take
the hospital taking hair growth.
take some
treatments,
time
so-
off for hair growth.
Oh man, yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
So, you've been just now, because what I understand, you just now started to like release recently your music.
It's more of right now is the beginning of my like rebranding stage
Okay.
because I used to go by J May, which is my full name, Josh May. I did that whenever I first got back into Morgantown. That's the name that I had, and then I changed it to Spike Yee like years ago, like on Facebook. Originally, I changed it to Spike Yee on Facebook because I was like fresh out of college and applying for jobs and stuff. So like, I just didn't want like my full name out there so
Yeah.
people can search me up and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then people just started calling me that, and then like I just started to roll with it, and I was like, well, you know what? And that's when I changed like my like artist page and like did the whole thing. And he actually helped me with that as far as like the rebranding process goes, where it's like we just kind of like got everything together, and we're like, all right, well, what do you want to sound like? What's the direction you want to go? And then I was like, I was like, well, it's a different stage of my life, so I might as well just go with this officially. So it's probably been going by Spike Yee for like 2 years now. So but I took a break from not releasing music, but it's just like I kind of like slowed down for a little bit, and then but now it's like just like hit the refresh button and it's like reloading like everything, but a new webpage.
Yeah. So you're changing? I mean, obviously, you changed your name. Are you also going to be changing like the sound from previous?
It's not so much like intentionally changing it, but it's like my tastes have changed. And I've never really had like a signature sound as far as like the type of stuff that I do, just because I've always been, my influences are from like everywhere, so like I just kind of do a little bit of everything.
It's more like you're maturing as an artist, so you're just kind of growing.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I'm just finding new ideas and new concepts, and I'm really just trying to like explore those and really just trying to do as much as possible. Like as far as like I'm not, because I don't want to be like, I don't want to like pigeonhole myself into like a box. So it's like, and that's the good thing working with him is because he's a musician as well, and he understands music, and he also has very different influences. Like I grew up listening to like rap, R&B, pop, a little bit of rock. Like I listen to Chinese music. You know what I mean? Like he grew up listening to like punk,
Punk, emo, screamo.
You know what I mean? So it's
classic
kinda-
80s rock.
Yeah.
like,
So it's we're like all
it's a
over the
little
board.
different,
Yeah.
Show tunes,
Yeah, exactly. I love show tunes. honestly.
jazz,
Yeah,
blues. So
It's like having that, one having two kind of almost two different sides of it working together, and being able to pull your influences together and kind of creating your own sound is really neat. And I've noticed that like working, like we talked about a little bit ago, working with Ginger Snaps Eric. He's really big into like blues and stuff like that. And I'm more along your side proper. Like I'm emo, that whole like
Yeah, I love that
early
stuff, man.
early 90s stuff. So like bringing those two kind of together. And if you listen to like my band's older stuff, you can kind of feel that almost like that punk emo mixed with like the blues riffs that we would write together.
It's in
Yeah, it's
there.
kind of cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
kind
cool
of
fusion.
feeling. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
yeah. Meeting in the middle. It's like honestly, it's one of the things I might find most fascinating about creating music with people. Is that you really anybody that you ever work with, you are not necessarily compromising, but you are meeting in the middle, where it's like it's a fusion of two or more minds with different backgrounds, different influence, different whatever, and then whatever you end up coming up with is the production of that combination of energies and of people. You know what I mean? So I think that's dope.
yeah, so proper. So do you do all the beats and everything too, or do you just produce? Like, or do you
Yeah,
He does everything.
everything else?
except for the vocals.
he pretty much he writes the lyrics, and I record it. I produce the sounds from like I get it from everywhere. I mean, it's sample stacking and building different sounds using different synthesizers, and then recently working with Eric, he's been helping me with my mixing and my mastering. Like,
Shouts to Eric.
Yeah, big shouts to Eric. The change in the sound that you can hear on his page alone in the past couple months is I will chug it up to 100% to Mr. Kirkland himself. He's been giving me the ins and outs of compression, because I'm more of like I said, not so classically trained. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. Want to make some music and thinks things sound good, and then he's helping me kind of refine it. So we're getting into those stages now. You just have so much content built up and ready to go that it's like we're like, okay, at some point we have to start at least putting stuff out. So kind of
we contemplated it for a while. Like, we were like, I don't know if we want to put it out yet. And we were just kind of like sitting on all this stuff. Just being real greedy, honestly. You know what I mean? Like,
I think we have about 100 tracks. He's probably got, I don't know, 40, 50 with vocals on them, and then I have like another like 50, 60 just like instrumentals.
Yeah.
No, our jobs last summer.
Like that's where all this stuff
and
came
made
from.
Music for like months.
We just because we had no jobs, no money, and we were just like, all right, well, what can we do to like, how are we gonna like survive this until? Because we were waiting on like new jobs to come through, which had been set up, but just like we there was some time, and we're like, well, I was like, I ain't really trying to like go get another job right now, you know what I mean? So we're like, all right, screw it, let's just do this, make the most of this time that we have now. And so we just sat in the studio every day, cranked music out, and for like an entire summer and a half, honestly. And and then everything that we're putting out right now is, is from that period of time, pretty much.
Yeah. So right now you're just releasing like singles, like building. Are you building up to like a big like album release?
We have
a whole album, yeah.
Yeah, we have a whole album.
Maybe sitting on a couple of them.
Still trying to figure it, because it's like I was talking about earlier, like the sounds we use very different sounds, so it's like, it takes, after time we go back and we listen to the tracks and analyze them, and we're like, all right, well, what vibes are similar? We start to group those songs together, and for potential projects. And we've dropped 2 compilation EPs, just short 3-track EPs. That were just a culmination of like songs that we had put out, and we're like, all right, well, those actually sound very similar, and the concepts and the subject matter of those were very similar. So we're like, all right, well, might as well just put those as a project and then re-release that. You know what I mean? And it just makes for more content as well.
So do you have like a date or anything coming up for a release? Or
not yet. Actually, we're in talks actually right now. We're getting ready to do we're going to do the album release.
Maybe album release, listening party, eventually at some point.
We haven't decided. It's either going to be like the end of, kind of base it around WVU's school schedule. So it'll either be towards the end of this semester or at the beginning of next semester.
Yeah, that's smart. Working around like when all the college kids are there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. You don't want to drop at midsummer whenever nobody's in town.
So it's just sometime, I don't know. We're in talks with 2 venues in town, so
1, 2, 3 in main stage, probably.
Yes.
I love 1, 2, 3 main stage. And over the past week, I got a bad taste in my mouth from main stage, but we won't go into that. People not getting paid for doing their jobs there. But anyway, won't talk about that. This is supporting local business, not deterring it.
Yeah. No, it's great though. 1, 2, 3 is great too. Though I love. It's like, just you gotta love that low stone shoebox.
Yeah,
it's
great. I've played so many shows there. Yeah. So have you're performing now live, right?
Yeah. I've been I've been performing in Morgantown definitely for the past like 6-7 years. Definitely done every venue, club, bar that's available there. So kind of
anywhere to let them plug in a mic.
Definitely
exactly. Split bar somewhere. Like.
And do you perform some of this stuff that you guys are sitting on?
We actually do. We That's pretty much the only time you can hear it is just like if you just come out and see us live.
Yeah, because I'll perform songs that we haven't released yet as well. So it's like the only times you'll hear certain songs is when I'm on stage doing them. So we actually just did our first show as
a
Spike
duo.
Yee and Proper. Like 2 months ago, I think. It was like a little show at 123.
A mixed genre show.
It was a mixed genre show. It was actually really dope.
I think I
It was
remember
cool.
seeing some
It was awesome.
videos from that.
Yeah, it was
The Jasons.
the Jasons,
yeah.
God's Green Apples, and us pretty much. So
That's a very that
Very
is a
eclectic.
mixed genre show. It's not just like
Yeah.
you have a mixed genre show where it's like metal then rock then like
Oh, no, it's like
no, it's like
completely
because the Jasons are just punk rock
Punk,
and
yeah.
they're crazy. I love
yeah,
those guys.
they're dope.
Like,
Yeah,
they're great.
shouts to them, for real. They're really cool, really cool dudes, and I really dig their stuff. Actually, it was dope.
Yeah, performance
I
was
was
awesome,
front of the stage rocking out with them during
Yeah.
their set, so it's
Yeah,
dope.
they're a lot of fun. I had a venue for a couple of years down in Clarksburg, and they were one of the first bands that we had in there. Like,
word.
it was them and like the Renfields, which the singer from the
remember
Renfields is
that,
also
yeah.
the singer from the Jasons, and
I
you know,
think I may have done a show with them in the past too. It was very similar, like a very
That's a
similar
fun show.
showcase.
yeah.
Do you remember the Renfields? They came down to Morton. They did done. Yeah, okay. yes, that was it. Yeah, yeah.
They've got like a not
They're
to talk
definitely
about
dope.
them, but like just having that whole like horror theme to it, I think is what kind of makes them kind of
yeah.
it's interesting to watch.
They've
So-
definitely got their aesthetic all the way down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, there's no questions about it.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's and it's like honestly, that's one of the things that I can only hope to achieve as an artist or as a creative is to be able to really hone in on like what it is that makes this or us, you know what I mean? And it's like whenever you can take it to that extreme and people think about it and it automatically registers, you know what I mean, an image or something like that, like that's one of the things that I'm really working towards too, as a creative and whatnot.
That's something that I've noticed as an artist. It's kind of a difficult journey because, you want to do this and this and this and this, but finding that sound or finding that, like you said, that picture or something
Yeah.
that really shows like it's you, like your logo or whatever.
It's
like
the branding
yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
And
basically at this point.
it's like taking that time and it's needed. And I've noticed a lot of bands and artists in the area that whenever they started, they weren't anything like they are now, but they found their sound over the
Yeah.
years and doing that, and it's awesome to see. So I hope that you can really kind of corner that, and you guys can find that, because I think that is whenever a band or an artist can really start taking off, because you're not
Absolutely,
all over
yeah.
the place. Because
Exactly,
people
yeah.
don't know, and
You can really focus in and concentrate your efforts and
Yeah.
your time. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to, you know what I mean? It's like whenever, like I was actually just talking about this with Dom the other day. It was like I was talking about my Instagram page, and when I go on and I look at quote unquote influencers Instagram pages, there's a lot of uniformity just in the overall aesthetic whenever you
Yeah.
look at it, whether or not whether they use similar types of pictures or poses or filters for their pictures or whatever. And then I was like comparing it to mine. I was like, dog, my shit is just
a
all
mess.
over the place. It's a mess, and that kind of is very representative of like what I was dealing with as far as my sound goes, because everything is just like, one day I'm, rapping on a jazz beat. Next day I'm doing a doo-wop sample. Next day I'm rapping over, something hard. So it's just like all over. And while that's cool because it's like, it allows me to like show off my versatility as an artist, the downside to that is like, it's like, it's when am I going to get to the particular sound that really represents me and my personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just that is, I guess, such is the struggle for any musician or artist or anyone creative, honestly,
Yeah,
doing
any
that.
creative.
Because it's really just like expressions of self, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of expressions. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's tough. Like, I mean, that's not to talk about like my band again, but 2 years ago, we got rid of our singer because he moved to New York City, and it was just hard working back and forth. We changed our style in that time, and that like we would have a bunch of people out to shows, and then the very first show that with our new singer with a new sound, dude, after that people just stopped coming because it was like it wasn't what they were expecting. So like we had found our sound with the other guy, then we were
Right.
trying to find our sound with our new singer, and we just dropped. Like it was so tough.
Yeah, totally
you know?
different lane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a difficult thing to find, but once you find it, like I said,
Because it's almost like a shock for the listeners too. You know what I mean? It's really because it's just like, oh, wait, I thought you were, but you're not. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I definitely understand that. I really do. So
yeah, and I've seen it like through bigger bands that I've followed back in the early 2000s. There's a band called Holland, and I loved them. I followed around. I've actually got this whole sleeve on my right arm's artwork from a band called Five Iron Frenzy. They're a ska band.
Nice.
On their final tour, I followed them around, and Holland opened for them, and I loved them. Absolutely loved this band. And then whenever I saw them again, they had to change their name because of legal reasons, because like the shipping company Holland would like cease and desist, like you can't use our name.
Oh, wow.
So they changed it to the Lonely Hearts, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. It's a new name. Went there, it was a completely different sound too, and I hated it. It was like you're saying, you go in and you're like, that's not who you were.
Yeah.
Kind of like the whole thing. It's just so I definitely from the viewer, from a fan's point of view, I definitely understand that too. So
yeah, definitely.
So as far as upcoming shows, because this is going to come out in just a few weeks, like this will be out like probably beginning of April.
Okay.
Any other shows that you're doing that like before your big album release?
I don't think we have anything scheduled, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything in the books right as of right now.
I was interested. I inquired about the most recent, what is it, Beats and Bars, hosted by Monster Lung.
Yeah, there's
1, 2, 3, but the one that is upcoming is already booked. So I'm gonna try to get on the next one of those.
Yeah.
How often do they do those up there?
I think it's monthly, right? Or is it
It's
bi-weekly?
either monthly or bi-monthly. Yeah, but that's always great. Shouts to Eric Jordan and all the sound vision people and everyone who's involved with that, because that's great, honestly, because it's been going on for like maybe like a year or two now since he started it, and it's kind of reunited the Morgantown hip hop scene. Because before that, there really there's a little dip in hip activity, just like in the music scene as far as hip hop goes. Like the artists were always there, but it was just everyone was just kind of doing their own thing. Eric Jordan has always kind of been there to like bring it all together and put together showcases, or in this case beat battles and showcase combination shows, and that's been really great, because then now it's like you got all these young artists coming out the woodworks, whether or not they're local or students or whatever, they're still coming out, and it's like kind of reviving the scene again, which is really nice to see, because I've been through like 2 generations essentially of like the music scene in Morgantown, and I've seen it like just cycle through and whatnot, so it's definitely nice to see it back on the rise and things happening again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, especially like since we started this podcast, like before, whenever I owned my venue, I'd known of a few hip hop artists in the area. They had a few down at my venue, but since we started this, honestly, since like I think the Gandhi episode, but whenever we released it, like the amount, I didn't realize there was this many hip hop artists around here. It blows my mind. Like there's so many more hip hop artists.
I didn't either.
Than bands.
Nobody
honestly.
leaves the house.
Yeah, nobody wants to leave their spot.
That, and like another big thing is like the community behind that hip hop, like the hip hop community. Like it's like you don't have that with the bands around here. It's like everybody in the hip hop community seems so just together. It's like it's an actual community and not just like, oh, you're an artist, you're an artist, you're an artist.
Right.
It seems like everybody is working together, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it kind of honestly is like it's very I find it real fascinating, actually. It's great because the general idea behind like a hip hop scene is it's very competitive. That's how it's always been. Rappers, it's all about the bravado and how much you can flex and show off. So it's interesting to see the how contradictory it is, but it's just like it's cool to see that even amidst all this these concepts of competition and whatnot, and being it's like that there's still this friendly vibe and environment whenever I go out to any of these showcases or shows, it's daps to everybody, it's like everybody's nice to each other, everybody's cool. Nobody's in each other's face. Nobody's, subliminally dissing anybody. Like it's cool. Like everybody just kind of like gets along, which is it's very nice to see. It's very refreshing.
Super refreshing.
Because I've had to deal with, I've been in many scenes, honestly, and it's definitely nice to see. You don't really get that, honestly. I don't think you get that a lot, and because I have friends, who make music and from other states, other cities, and I always kind of like to ask them what it's like there, and it's just like it seems like a lot of hip hop scenes and a lot of other places are very toxic mentality. Just because it's like just looking out for yourself and just selfish, but so that's why it's pretty dope, and it's honestly the first time I've ever actually experienced something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One of the first shows that I actually ever put on was based like right outside of Cleveland. I was living here and in Cleveland with my old band. Okay. They were based out of there. And I was working with our singer who was working for like a label out there. And it was a mixed genre show. And we had a couple hip hop artists. We had like a rock band. And then my band was like an emo rock band. And it was like first band. One of the hip hop guys got on stage and got in the guys' faces because they weren't big into that whole like rock thing, and ended up like kicking over the guy's amp and like starting this huge fight. And I was like, I'm not doing a hip hop show out here anymore. Like,
wow, the disrespect.
That's
ridiculous.
And then coming here and going to a hip hop show, it's like you don't have that. Like it's everybody's.
There's a mutual respect between everybody, and that's really what I think is the most important thing. It's like you may not have to like me, and I don't have to like you, but I respect your craft. I respect the fact that you're doing it. I respect your grind. I mean, it's like can't knock the hustle. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Never disrespect the hustle.
Exactly. I might not. I might not talk to you whenever I'm in the same room with you, but I'll still dap you up and acknowledge your existence. You know what I mean? As an artist.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like I feel like that should at least be like the standard for because it's like we're all in this. We're all doing it. We're all musicians and artists and people just trying to create things and express ourselves. So there should be a sense of empathy, you know what I mean, that's somewhere
on some
there.
level.
Yeah. And I'm actually glad that like there's only ever been one fight like at my venue whenever I owned it, and it wasn't from bands. Well, there was one. Hold on. No, there was one band. Yeah, the one that I'm speaking of was from me. But that some dude was punching a girl in the mosh pit, and it really pissed me off. So I had a guy carry him out, and the guy was throwing punches at me, so I jumped over the other guy, and that just ended up. But actually, there was one. I forgot. There was this band called Nash, Gnash, Gash. I forget the name of it. They were a burlesque, like, kind of dark rock band.
Okay.
And they were doing like BDSM stuff, like which everybody knew that was the show. It was like a 18+ show. And some one of the girls that they talked to her before the show, like they were pulling people up on stage, and like whipping them, doing different stuff like that. And that was the whole ordeal. And they talked to them before the show, and were like, "Hey, are you cool with this? Like, would you like to do this?" And she was like, "Yeah." Well, the girl ended up not liking it, and then ended up going after the singer who was doing it to her, who was also a female, and it just blew up into this big thing.
Oh wow!
Baseball bat was pulled out. It was from my ex. My ex sissy pulled out a baseball bat and went after one of the guys. I was like, no, you can't. As a venue owner, you cannot do that.
Can't do that.
No. They did not touch you. You're just going into this fight with a baseball bat. You cannot do that. That's how lawsuits happen. That's how we lose the place. But that was. Yeah, dude, they're not fun. I'm a big diffuser unless somebody just really. And once I snap, I just.
Unless it's one of your brothers.
Well, yeah, that families fight. It happens.
Yeah, families.
In which case, there's no diffusing.
There's no diffusing. No, we're just at each other's throats.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a necessary thing for families. You gotta hash it out.
Got it.
Yep.
You ain't family unless you know how to fight each other.
Yeah. I've never actually punched one of my brothers though. It's got to the point, but I could never actually bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
I could never do it. Like and my brother upstairs, like he's taking off his glasses and like hit me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just couldn't do it. And I was
do it.
mad too. Like I just can't do it.
I feel you, man. I'm a pacifist. I don't enjoy. I don't like hostility just by any means. It's taken a lot for shit. It's taken me 30 years just to be an assertive person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's except for with my brother because I used to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He's like 5 years younger than me. So but in most cases, I'm very, very passive. Just reserved. Yeah.
So while we're on that topic, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened at one of your shows for either of you? Like, and it could be like from way back when or anything. Like, has there anything like not necessarily like fighting, but like has anybody like came up and rubbed their tits on your face. Like I think a band told like
I wish.
some dude like went up and was showing them like as they were playing was like had a like Pornhub up and like playing a porn video while they were playing like just crazy shit. Like,
Was that
Word.
D? That told
no,
us
I think
that?
it was Crevices actually. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
Crazy things? I don't know. There's a. I don't know. It's been a long time and a lot of performances.
Yeah, definitely a lot of performances. I mean,
I don't know. I have seen fights, but they're like unrelated because I DJ'd just out as like a means of work for a few years in the downtown scene. And I mean, those things just happen.
they just happen,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So
oh, brawls.
like full
yeah.
floor clearing, dump the club, tear gas, getting shot in the
Yeah.
street, leaking into the club. Like,
yeah,
so-
it gets pretty rowdy up there.
yeah. So I mean, but you know, college town, drunk as things happen.
Yeah, kind of a given.
Yeah.
One of those things. But as far as like official shows and whatnot, I don't know, honestly. It's most shows have just been pretty good outcomes.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
good,
Good.
great,
That's good.
vibey. Like
I like,
everybody's
and I like
hanging out,
to,
good
and
time.
yeah, and I feel I like to attribute that to the types of music too. You know what I mean? Because that really does affect the mentality of the people there. You see it from from live performances to club gigs. You know what I mean? Depending on what DJ is at what club. You know what I mean? I might have a good night. Somebody or the club might get shot up depending on what type of music's being played.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
Yeah.
so it's just it really is that, and that's why it's like with the music that we try to make, it's a representation of us in a sense, but it's also it's like we're chill people, now anyways, we've had our wild moments back in our younger days,
Yeah.
but we're chill people now, so the music we put out is kind of on that level, and I would hope that my music doesn't make anybody want to fight. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Like that's not really what I'm going for.
Yeah.
If you do happen to fight at one of my shows, you got to be on something, because I know for a fact my music ain't fighting music.
Yeah, it's another cool thing about like the scene around here is I went down to Virginia. I was down there 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and me and my brother went out, and we were going to go to this bar. There's a band playing. The line was insane, and we were both just eaten. Went to another bar, and we're both like, well, like I'm talking like 50, 60 people, but at that club. They had like a little entryway, and they had a metal detector and wands, and it's like you don't see that up here. It's because I've never you've got like your actual clubs
Yeah.
that you've had like what's the big one up there, Bent Willie's or whatever, where there's been stabbings and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Places like
yeah.
that. But like the music
place even
venues,
still there?
It is a new,
it's a new one now.
business
Yeah, new
now
business
with
now.
different name and different owners and whatnot.
I think the fact that we don't need that at like say 1, 2, 3 or main stage where there's like a metal detector and wands like really kind of speaks a lot to the scene too. Is like
Yeah.
these people aren't coming out to shows to start that kind of shit. Like I've
Right.
honestly never played a show at 1, 2, 3 where there's been a fight.
Yeah, I don't think
Everybody just
so.
comes out to see the music. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And same thing with main stage too. Like, and you figure, to me, out of the two, if I was going to see a fight, it's probably going to be at main stage because there's just going to be more people.
More people.
Like way more liquor being slung around too. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been there quite a few times and I've never seen anything.
Yeah, I don't think I can recall any crazy or serious altercations at either of the venues, honestly.
It's usually a friend.
Yeah, usually if anything gets started, it's usually like somebody, like one of the close homies that's just like super
Self-release.
drunk, wilding out. Like,
Like, relax, bro.
So you do seem like a really laid back person, and I know that you said that you're kind of a passive person. Was it was it hard initially, and is it hard now? Doing live performances, like being up in front of people, entertaining a crowd, like
I
you
can
kind of
answer
have
that
to zone
one.
out.
No, he loves that. That's what it's all about.
that's honestly, that is where I feel most comfortable. Honestly, it's I've always said this about myself. I am always more comfortable in front of a crowd than being in a crowd. I get I get mad anxiety from like social situations. Like I used to hate, like in college, like I used to hate house parties. I used to hate going to the bars, and you know what I mean, because it's
Too
just
many
like
people.
standing around. I don't like obligatory social interaction. You know what I mean? When I feel like I have to do do something to fit in or whatever, like it makes me very nervous. In most cases, sorry, I'm a wallflower at parties. I stand in the corner and just chill with my drink, you know, I mean, post it up on the wall, you know, observing everything that goes on. I'm very hypersensitive too with stuff. Like my awareness, like ADHD is like always on max. So it's like I'm just hearing conversations. I'm hearing like every single conversation around me. It makes me super anxious. So whenever I'm like in front of a camera on stage, no problems. I grew up doing that though, because I played piano since I was like 6 years old. So just doing recitals constantly, and then I was like in choir for a little bit. So like I'd have to get up and sing in front of people, and like I got a huge family, like 30, 40 people at like just like anytime we'd have little like during holidays and stuff. So like it'd be like, you know, we'd go and parents would be like, you know, hey, go sing this song in front of 40 of your relatives when everybody's dead silent. You know what I mean? I'm like 10, 12 years old, you know what I mean? And it's just every time always like that. So I always feel like that was just, I feel like I was just kind of like brought up to do that. I've been doing it all my life, so it's just kind of like second nature to me. Like public speaking was awesome. I aced that class so easily. It was like, and it was crazy because I never understood. I guess because it was like, you know, they say that the biggest, like one of the biggest fears of like people is like, you know, public speaking, and that was like the one thing that never really bothered me. Like everything else bothered. Like when I'm sitting in a classroom, you know what I mean, full of 30 kids. And, you know, I mean, everyone's talking to each other. That's what I'm scared of. I don't like that at all. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that definitely, I love it. It's just like, it's this immediate pressure. And I was also, you know, I did journalism in college. So I always had to be in front of the camera. I did broadcast journalism. So it was like, you know, I mean, just writing and performing whatever you wrote in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And it's invigorating, I should say. So yeah, I really like it.
What about you being on stage? Like,
I don't mind being on stage either, but I do prefer to be in the back.
the background?
Yeah, he likes to take that
Behind the booth.
background.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. You know,
Lurking in the
involved, but still not necessarily like.
I mean, that's our that's our dynamic.
We work together also.
We work in a
He's the front
restaurant
of the house, I'm the
together.
back of the
Okay.
house. I
Yeah.
cook it. He
So
serves
you
it.
found jobs then? I'm assuming.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that accurately represents our both what we do and our dynamic with each other. As like he cooks it up and I serve it and stuff. You know,
That's perfect.
Yeah,
it really,
absolutely.
the balance is very there. Yeah.
So who cleans at the house? Like,
Mostly Josh, because he gets
OCD, like
OCD
crazy.
about it. But like I'm working on getting better about it. It's like I will clean because I can let it go longer, but then he can't let it go that long. So.
Yeah, I can't. Like I can't like dishes in the sink maybe like 2 days. And I'm like I can't. I gotta wash it. I just have to.
Jed and I lived together. That was a big thing. Was the dishes?
Yeah.
There was 4 of us living there, and it was just like stacked full for like a week, and we're like,
Oh, that's the worst.
Somebody's
We're
gonna do
talking
these dishes.
like we're talking like 3 plates, and he's
Yeah,
like,
I'm
oh,
talking
I
like
can't have it.
yeah, like maybe a pot. You know what I mean?
We would have like both sides of the sink full, overflowing, like,
and there's a
stacking
dishwasher.
dishes up on the
We just-
counter.
There was a
Yeah,
dishwasher.
The dishwasher is finally making the impact. It's like, all right, I'll just throw them in the dishwasher so you don't see them.
The thing with it though is it's just like with laundry. Nobody minds washing clothes. Nobody minds drying clothes.
Right.
Nobody wants to fold that shit and put it
Put it away. Yep.
Facts.
And like, you know, anybody would be like, "Oh, I'll load the dishwasher," but then they would never take
wants
it
to
out.
unload it?
So, like, let's put the dishes away.
Yep.
No, I got a good story that I don't know if I've told you yet. Kind of fits in with what we were talking about. So I don't like social situations either. I get real weirded out whenever
Preach.
there's a lot of people around me.
So does
And-
everybody else around you.
And so my wife and I went to DC for my birthday last month, and we were at this bar, and it's like a bar restaurant, and there's this lounge upstairs. So we're waiting up there, trying to get a table, trying to find somewhere to go, and it's just packed. I mean, like shoulder to shoulder, like pushing people out of the way to walk through, and I'm like, oh no, I don't feel this. So I told her, I was like, hey, you go to the bar, just get me something. I don't care. I'm gonna go find somewhere that we can like sit down. So I'm looking around this room. I'm panning my surroundings, trying to find somewhere that looks safe, and like these two stools up against the wall just stand out to me. You know, like they look like a light is just shining down on them. And so I go over there and I sit down at these stools and I take my phone out and I'm like, you know, checking all my Facebook notifications or whatever. And I'm looking around to see where my wife is, see if she's got a drink yet. And as I do, I'm like, man, it's really bright in here. Like, what the fuck? So I'm looking and all of a sudden I realize that like all these lights are pointed at me. And I look down and I'm like, none of these other tables are very close. And then I'm like looking around the room more and more and I'm like, I'm on stage right now. Like, oops.
That's why you had that like light shining moment.
Yeah.
All the fucking lights.
All the lights were pointed at those two stools. So I just owned it. I actually messaged you guys.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I accidentally just wandered on stage. I'm just gonna stay here.
Hang out.
Because it's like I'm already here. I'm just gonna own this. Like,
Oh hell yeah!
it would be more awkward if I were to get up and just like wander off into the crowd.
Right?
You should have just got on the microphone and just started talking. No.
Tell a couple jokes.
Yeah.
Can't do
like
that.
jokes.
Bald guy walks into a bar. The first thing he does is go on fucking stage. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's great. That's hilarious. I love that. I love that.
I don't have any crazy weird bar stories like that. Like
Oh, man, I got
awkward.
more. I got more from DC.
I'm not big on being in big crowds myself. If it's like wall to wall either, I don't get like anxiety. I just don't like it.
I feel you.
I just don't like.
You get like two drinks
totally
in me,
feel you.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's a little more bearable when you're, you know, slightly intoxicated, definitely. But when I'm sober, my brain is jumping out of my head thinking about all the variable factors to this existence. You know what I mean? It's like I think that's what gives me the most anxiety is like that. It's like you just never know what's gonna happen. And growing up in a place like Morgantown and just like constantly seeing crazy shit happen, you know, every time you go out, it's practically unavoidable. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like this life is so uncontrollable. I like to control as much of it as I possibly can. And whenever I'm in an environment like that,
It's too much.
it's just too much. And
Too
it's
many
like-
variables.
Exactly. You know, you just never know what's going to happen. And it's like, and I'm always like, my eyes are just always darting back and forth. And I'm like, I'm looking like down like 30 feet in front of me, like seeing somebody, you know, I mean, accidentally spill a drink on somebody as he's walking by and somebody else grabbing a girl's ass, you know, on the other side of the dance floor. I'm like, oh shit, are they going to fight? Are they going to fight? And then somebody bumps into me. It's like, am I going to fight? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to be worried about that kind of stuff. I'm just out here trying to have a good time, you know?
Man.
Yeah, so that shit's crazy though.
Yeah, I think the only place that I've ever like partied at that was wilder than Morgantown was downtown Tampa.
Never been down there.
Yeah, I spent like $2,500 at a strip club in downtown Tampa one night.
It's a
It was a rough night.
I was gonna say rough morning.
Yeah.
Next day.
It was this bachelor party, and everybody was obsessed with going to this one strip club in particular because it was full nude, and they were like, "Oh, we gotta go to the full nude." Blah. So we go, and they don't serve alcohol. So my boy Castaneda, he's like, "Hold on, I got an idea." So he goes outside, and the bouncer that's like standing outside, he like hands him $50, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get a bunch of beer, and I'm gonna bring it, and I want you to hold on to it." And the bouncer's just like, "All right, sure, why not?" So he like crosses the street and goes and buys like 2 suitcases of beer, comes back, and the bouncer goes inside and gets like a 50-gallon trash bag, pours a whole bunch of ice into it, and puts all our beers in it. And so we're just like walking outside, shotgunning beers in front of this strip club, and then going back inside.
Oh man. You're the second person in a week that's told me about a strip club that does not serve alcohol. A buddy of
crazy.
mine.
I don't think
like
I've
that in New
ever
York.
been
Yeah.
to one like that.
Can't show pussy
Yeah.
with alcohol. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
no alcohol involved with full nudity.
I mean, yeah, alcohol does make people make bad decisions.
I can see
guess
that.
questionable
Yeah.
decisions,
Questionable
at the
decisions.
least. Yeah. So
The other one
makes
that I heard about was it was because it was an 18 plus establishment.
Oh, okay,
So it kind of makes sense.
that you don't have
that
to worry
way,
about
Yeah.
underages
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah, but I've never. It just seemed like West Virginia. I don't think there's any in West Virginia that.
I don't think I would want to go to an 18 plus.
I don't think I would
strip
either.
club.
I don't want 18-year-olds around me while
No.
they're strippers.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I don't,
Like children.
I'm not going to go. Like, I will not use the bathroom there.
No.
There's going to be 12 of them in there.
Yeah.
In the stalls,
yeah, facts.
doing things to themselves. And I don't want that. not around me.
Yeah.
No, I remember 18-year-old me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be next to him in a strip club.
Hear that?
Definitely not. I don't want to be next to him anywhere, to be honest.
I don't want to be next to you right now.
Well, here we are.
I've missed this. We always give each other shit constantly. Like,
It's a good dynamic.
Yeah. If you're homies, you got to.
You have to. If I don't give you shit, you're not my homie. It's like
exactly.
Unfortunately for me, my body is just falling apart at such a fast rate that
It is.
Yo, I completely feel that. I mean, ever since I hit after I hit
Get
like
out of here. You look like you're fucking 23.
word.
I look like I'm about to
love
start
it. I'll
collecting
take that.
retirement, and I'm like 4 years younger than you.
Yo, we get that,
is true.
yeah, all the time.
all the time. All the time. We get that. It's
Yeah.
Asians don't raisin, man. You know, it's just one of those things. Like I always tell everybody, like I'll probably look like this until like 65, and then I'll just look old as shit.
Yeah, and then 66 is gonna hit, and he's
And
gonna
it's
be
just like,
I've seen that.
You're
There was
old.
like I saw a comic like, and it's like Asians. It's like you're born, and then like once you're like in your like early teens, you look the same. It was like the progression.
oh yeah, no,
And then like they
yeah.
hit 65, then they just like shrink 4 inches
Yeah.
and like become gray.
the
It's like
wrinkles
it's-
at once.
Yeah, it's like it's,
It's like just life just hits you one more
Yeah.
time. It's just like, hey, you remember that you're old? You know, it's like you may not look like it, but yeah, here's a reminder.
Yeah.
Boom. But yeah,
Like
no,
a devil's pact.
you're right.
yeah.
Oh man, no, I look at like I've looked at like my old pictures and stuff, and it's like I'm like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, really? You know, because I remember. I mean, I didn't even grow until I was like 18. Like, you know, what I mean, I really like I looked. I was short and skinny. I'm still skinny. I'm still not that tall, but I was shorter than I was now. I was just a shrimp in high school, and it wasn't until maybe like my junior, senior year I grew like, you know, a couple inches, and but still face looked the same, just a little bit rounder. I always had a big head, so it took me. I'll say this. So
You
it's
grew
like,
into your head.
I finally grew into my
Yeah.
head, you know, over the past like couple years. So that's nice, you know. What I mean?
yeah. I had the same thing. Like looking back on old pictures and like looking at me now, and instead of going, "Damn, really?" I'm like, "Damn, really?" Like, this is what I've become. Like, wow.
I don't know. I think you were a lot weirder looking whenever you were younger.
Yeah, we won't get into that. The eye makeup.
You had
and,
some
like,
very
the
questionable
straight black
choices.
hair and all that shit. Yeah, I was like emo. Like I still wear skinny jeans. Never got out of that, but I don't straighten my hair and dye it black and wear eyeliner and all
Cover
that.
up one eye.
It was,
Yeah, I was there.
that.
I was right there with you.
Yeah, he just seems to be on the same tip.
Yeah.
You know what always cracked me up about that old haircut is like it's evolved because basically what happened is
We
that
all grew
haircut
beards and got man buns.
No, that haircut went blonde and it just transitioned to like 40-year-old soccer moms.
That's the truth.
It never actually went anywhere.
That is
It's
true.
just
Always been there. It's
Yeah.
like a symbiote. It just attaches to different people.
That is the truth.
yeah. You never thought of that, have you?
No, I
Blew
haven't.
your fucking
I know
mind.
that you
That's
have
real
like
funny.
a lot of time to sit and think about hair. So Googling pictures.
I'm gonna get a wig and wear it in here one day, and it's gonna creep you
laugh.
the fuck out.
Yeah, it would.
It's got to be like a real ridiculous one. And
Like
you
a
gotta
Donald
wear it-
Trump wig.
You got to wear it like during somebody's interview and not mention anything about it and see if people say anything about it.
We won't say anything. You just come in here with just like this.
Just have it on like it's your hair.
We got to do that.
Oh, that's great.
Oh Lord.
So where are you both of you guys from?
I'm from Bridgeport originally.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in Washington State, but both my parents are from Buchanan.
Oh, okay.
My dad was in the military. Was a
Gotcha.
Air Force baby. So we were born there, then moved to upstate New York until I was like right in middle school.
Word.
Then moved down here. So I've been down here most of my life. Yeah.
Word. So all essentially native West Virginians.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very nice.
Except for this guy over here.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Ohio
actually from New York, but he's lived in West Virginia for a long
I'm a
time.
Genian.
A Genian.
Voice Atlas, by the way.
Voice Atlas.
Yeah.
Because he's just loud all the time.
That's part of the name. Part of the name.
So okay, I'm gonna. So Voice Atlas, like I see it online. Is that you?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
I see it because my band's After Atlas, and I'm like, that's.
Oh, yeah. I follow you.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah. So, that's cool. Crap. So
I say a lot of things. A lot of things online.
I would have never guessed that you'd be here. The one guy that I'm just sitting there like, pick out that name.
There's actually a lot. I've seen a lot, even Voice, and then
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Atlases out there.
That's a
But there's only one voice.
There's
Atlas.
only one voice Atlas.
So coming back to hair loss, and I'll tie it into something that we were talking about earlier. So like not liking social interaction. Honestly, like
your hair didn't.
shaving my head was one of the best moves because now, like, I don't have to worry about strangers talking to me anymore. People avoid the shit out of me in public, and it's great. It's awesome. Like, I've had plenty of people be like, well, why don't you just try to grow your hair back out? I'm like, no, honestly, I'm really okay with it. Like, I'm already married. I don't have shit to, I'm not aiming for anything, so fuck it.
I get
I'll
the
look weird.
opposite. Like, people like to touch my head. I'm like, what the fuck? I hate being bald. I just
Trying to
can't
rub the
I
crystal
can't
ball,
grow
bro.
hair. So
Is that why you're so tall? You're just trying to get away from him? So you just trying to grow.
I go out and I get my head touched at least once a night by somebody.
Wow.
It's just like, I don't know.
I've never seen anybody touch Jed's head like on purpose.
Only people that know me.
Well, yeah.
Complete strangers. I'm like, what are you doing?
Now I will get, and I'm sure you probably get this more than I do, but I do get the people who would just walk up and just like grab my arm and just be like, "Oh my god, I love your tattoo," and I'm just like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, get off of
I
me.
always feel bad because it's always like little, like older ladies. Like, oh my god, it's so pretty. I'm like, you're lucky. You're not a dude. It's just creepy. Like,
thank
don't
you.
do that. If you're one of those type of people out there that just
Yeah, if
grabs
you're
people's
listening,
arms
Don't do
Yeah.
that.
to like check out their tattoos,
Don't touch people.
you don't
don't
go-
touch people. Like,
Yeah,
be that
you
person.
don't go to an art gallery and grab the fucking painting off the wall
like,
and
"Wow,
inspect
this is
it. Like, don't like it's creepy.
Let's be.
Sorry.
I don't think I wouldn't call you an art gallery.
It'd be like one of those ones in like,
Tumblr?
fair enough. That's better than what I could have come up with.
The dark side of Tumblr.
Whew. Finally, somebody got me back.
Yeah, like a failed, a failed Etsy. It's too harsh.
Is that Finstagram? We just found out there's like a something. It's like a bunch of like college students like
Call them Finstas.
yeah, Finstas.
Sure.
It's like a fake Instagram, and it's like some girls were telling us about this. It's like
So you could just like while out and only add like your close friends and post ridiculous pictures so that your family doesn't see that side.
so you have like a regular Instagram,
And then you
a
have your
Finstagram.
Finstagram.
Why not just make a private Instagram account?
Yeah,
add
I don't know.
people.
That's I was very curious too. It's like if you know me, you should probably know by now.
Yeah, for real.
I feel like that's just like youthful problems, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I used to be
Not-
the same way. I would like try to keep things from my parents.
yeah.
Because I didn't want
That was the main
judgment.
reason. That's
Understandable.
what they were telling us. Like, there were just these college girls, and they're like, "Yeah, we got like this phase because I'm trying to like hide all this stuff from my parents. I don't want them to see." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe you're just making some questionable choices. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're trying to
Tell
hide
my
it.
parents.
That's the worst, though.
You see what your son did on Facebook?
God, that's the
That got me into a lot of trouble back in the MySpace days.
Oh,
yeah.
Your
yeah.
son
MySpace days.
on
Yeah.
MySpace. See what he posted? I'm like, fuck.
MySpace is pretty good now. Nobody uses it.
I need to get back
It's
on
It's,
there.
it's coming back.
It's coming back. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming back.
I'm just mad that they messed up the algorithm and I can't get my old music off there.
That's
Yo,
what I'm
me
saying.
too. I was just trying to get
Same.
mine back the other
Yeah.
day. I got a 5-song demo on there from like 2004 with my band. It's like I can't listen to it.
Can't
it's
listen to it
there.
at all. Yep.
Like the pictures are there. The length is there. So I don't know why the player just won't work. It must be a problem in the embedding, or they lost
Yeah.
the original file or something.
I read something on it, and it's like I think it's anything like pre a certain day is just like everything's there. It's just not accessible. Like you can see it, but you can't listen to
There
it.
might be a way.
Yeah.
If you're saying the player shows up.
The whole thing shows
Yeah,
up.
like everything
it just
shows up, it
doesn't
just
play.
won't play.
It even shows the waveform, I think.
We just need to hack MySpace.
Yeah. Which celebrity bought it?
Justin Timberlake,
Justin-
right?
let's
Yeah,
give him a
Tim-
message.
JT.
Let's message him right now.
Yo, shouts to
Holla at me,
JT.
boy.
You listen to
Let me
this?
get them tunes back, bro.
Yeah, I just want my like. I just want my like 3 songs back. That's all.
I got 5 on there, and they got like 23 plays. What's that? Like,
I just imagine that he like bought that shit just to have all that music, and he just sits at home and like jams to all this like
oh man,
indie
what an
music.
epic playlist!
Or-
He's gonna
Yeah.
come out with an album in like 3
Or
years.
that's what I'm
and he's-
saying. You're just gonna hear. Yo,
Hits.
what
You're
if
gonna be
he's
like,
just
I
like?
recognize this
That's what I'm
song.
saying. Yeah, he played the
hell?
owner in the Facebook movie, and now he's
Yeah.
the owner. That's not
That's
weird.
hilarious.
Yeah.
What that would be crazy though. What if it was like if it was just hoarding all this old music from everybody and just like taking inspiration and taking ideas and just be
That's
like,
what
nope.
Drake does. Goes on SoundCloud and robs people. Probably took one of your songs.
That's why I don't post nothing.
Wait, did that happen?
No.
Or something similar?
That happens a lot with
it
Drake.
happens
Like,
very often.
Yeah, Drake definitely.
He steals a
um,
lot of music and from like, people that have like 100 views.
I guess
Like,
voice on the
pays
mic.
homage to his musical influences, quote unquote, heavily.
Does he like even mention them like in the credits?
No, it's
he
just
doesn't
he
mention
just
the
draws
whole
from
team.
different cultures and different backgrounds. So like if you like listen to like a lot of stuff that he's released over the past couple of years, like every album has a different sound, but each sound each sound comes from a different musical cultural background. So like he draws from like Jamaican culture, he draws
He was
from
Jamaican
like
last year.
yeah, and then before he's been
Now he's UK.
UK now. Used to be, very what was another one that he was Caribbean, that's Jamaican, right?
Yeah, he was
essentially.
doing the fake reggae stuff for a minute.
Yeah, for a long time. Like that was like his thing for like 2 summers.
And he did
So-
a
Like
bunch
Jamaican
of Texas
Drake.
type flows.
Yeah. Houston was like one of the
Houston,
first
yeah.
ones that he drew influence from, like his first couple mixtapes.
Watch out for that West Virginia sounded one.
Well, it's funny
We're all
too because it's just all. It's crazy though. West Virginia actually doesn't. It's hard to hone in on a particular West Virginia sound because it's like I've been I always really enjoyed different types of music from different cultures because it represents that particular culture and that lifestyle, and so like with like the hip hop scene, it's like Houston has a sound, Miami has a sound, like New York has a sound, West Coast, LA has their own sound, but like West Virginia, Morgantown or wherever has yet to develop into anything concrete yet because it's just so
Diverse.
It's
Yeah,
so
it is very
diverse,
diverse, yeah.
and like that's the thing. It's like Morgantown is like. The sound, there is no typical Morgantown hip hop sound. Like every even all the local rappers and artists that I know from that grew up in Morgantown that like I grew up with, they all sound different, and it's crazy. It really is. Like they're all, and it's like a lot of them are like really really good and like very just very quality artists, but and everybody just has a unique sound, which is what I used to love about hip hop, not so much anymore because that essentially is non-existent in the mainstream. It's just like
Not
that.
at all.
Just, yeah, it's gone. Yeah, it's just like because hip hop, it's just being a creative is just all about individuality. So why not continue that? Right now, it sucks because rappers are not rappers anymore. They are rappers who try to sing, who try to rap. So, and everyone just making the same sounding songs, everyone's making the same beats, and it's like, I don't know, it's just tiring. I don't really listen to new music anymore because of that.
Yeah.
But that's what got me into hip hop, or just I guess if you grew up in the '90s, you know what music used to sound like of every genre because
the
it was all
radio.
out there.
Yeah.
It was
Every
great.
genre.
Top 10, was you had like from Jay-Z to Alanis Morissette to, Linkin Park to, Limp Bizkit to, I mean, it's just like a little bit of everything, and it's like, I miss that. Because that's what got me into a lot of different types of genres of music, was being exposed to them and figuring out what I liked and what I didn't like. Now it's just like, there's, in the mainstream, you'll have one or two main genres that everybody sounds like. And it's like, where's the originality in that? And why should I be listening to that if I don't find anything special in it?
Now, do you blame, like, for like mainstream things, now do you blame, like, say, the artist, or do you blame, like, the labels for forcing them into that?
It depends on what side of the fence you're coming from, because I definitely the labels have a huge influence on it. They definitely try to push artists into doing certain types of sounding songs because they know what sells. You know what I mean? It's because at the end of the day, as sad as it is to say, it is a business.
It's a business, yeah.
And, money has to be made. And, when you have found that equation and figuring out how to make money, it's just as simple as that. And it's really, and at the end, it is up to the artist too. Because as artists, you listen to music and you know what hits. When you listen to stuff, you know what sounds good to you. And I guess it's like, the musical explanation is certain notes and certain chord progressions evoke certain types of emotions and moods. So it's like they essentially, these guys in, their suits in the skyscrapers, they have honed it down enough. They've had enough. They paid enough music analysts to really like get it down to the nitty gritty. And it's like, what chord progressions sound good? All right, well, those are the ones we're gonna make pop. Those are the ones that people like. So those are the ones we're gonna sell. So this is the type of music we want you to make. You know what I mean? So, so it is largely in part because of corporate America doing that. But also, certain songs and certain progressions sound good for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, so, you can make songs like that. Like, I enjoy making songs like that if they sound good, but it would have to be because I wanted to do it, not because I had to.
Forced to, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks the soul out of the art. Whenever you're forced to do something, it's like when I write music, like I can't force myself to write music. It almost like hurts my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're
trying to force it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just sit there and I like write stuff, like, because sometimes I try to do that where it's just like I'm trying to force my brain into the habit of like just writing stuff, but it's like I do it, but then I look at it back and I'm like, what did I do this for? I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use any of these lyrics because I look at them and it's like there's no conviction in what I was writing. You know what I mean? It's just like
Words.
there. Yeah, just words.
Yeah, I think one of the best songs that I've ever written was I was actually in the shower and I thought of like this like little melody in my head, and it was piano. And I actually like jumped out of the shower, went to my computer, sat down and started like recording it, and like a towel still wet. And then by the end of the day, I had this full song done, and it was just there. Sometimes it just hits you.
Yeah.
But like, I can't, like, if I were to go in there right now, I'd be like, I'm going to write a song.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to
get in
like,
the shower.
Yeah, I'm going to get in the shower. Yeah, typically, whenever I do that, I usually like take like I've got X Gonna Give It to You. DMX, I just did like
Nice.
take that and just like remix it, like just add. I'll just go through and like add all the drums, then just like tweak them to make it like maybe like a metal sounding with like double kick and shit in it, and then I'll just do stuff like that.
That's fun though. That's some fun stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're pretty fun, but yeah, like you definitely can't force
Yeah.
writing music.
It's just being,
You can if you don't care.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the internet. Like, there's just more shit for us to go through.
Yep.
It's not curated. Nothing. It's just shit.
yeah.
That's why like having a producer is great, because if you're just sitting there just writing songs to write songs, like then that's where you come in. You can be like, and I'm sure that you can tell, like, if he wrote a song that's like really meaningful to him, then he just then he's got one that he just kind of pushed out just to push out. You could sit down and you could tell.
Oh yeah, we absolutely know the difference.
Yeah. So
But we've done a lot of workouts with that look. But our process is a little bit different, I think, than what a lot of people go through, because living together, working together. I mean, pretty much is hang out all day, every day.
Studios next door.
Yeah, studios in the third bedroom. That's our third roommate. So so it's like our process is like, hey, you want to get in the studio today? Sometimes we'll just sit in there and make no music. Play on our phones, talk about life, politics, whatever. Other days it'll be like, I heard this little melody. Check this out. What do you think about it? And then same like you said, by the end of the day, it's just you got a whole song, feeling some type of way about that day, and then. But he's there from the start to finish. It's not like he's a lyricist who comes in picks through a catalog of beats and it's like, okay, this is the song that fits how I was feeling. It's more like
we build the song together,
like all the way like from the first sound. He's like sitting in there, and then within 15 minutes we have some little structure, and then he's just writing the whole time as the song builds.
As he's building the rest of the
so
beat
it's just at the same time.
Yeah,
literally.
That's a really cool way to do it.
By the time he finishes up, like it's like okay, he's like okay, I have the hook. Like we'll use this as the hook, and then I'll have stacked layers, and then I'll deconstruct it actually, like all of the pieces. So I have them broken down to like first voice, second voice, harmonies, and then build out the structure of how many verses it's going to be. Is there going to be a bridge in it, and then. By the end of the day, we got a song or two.
Yeah, it's like one of those carnival games where it's like you're sitting there with the water gun and you're shooting at the target and racing these little cars every time. And it's like kind of like what we're doing is like we just each like inch forward a little bit at a time. You know what I mean? And it's just like sometimes he finishes before me, sometimes I finish before him. But a lot of times it's just like we're just moving at the same pace in our respective lanes. In the studio, and that's just how songs get built. And that's why it's like the process is just very organic because we just sit there and then like I don't start writing until something hits me where I'm like, oh, like, it's like the light bulb above your head, like, it's like, oh, all right, I got something, and then I just start. And then a lot of times that just comes from a sound that he's messing with or something, whether it be like a kick or like a melody or a loop or a little sample or whatever it is, where it's something that sparks my interest, where it's like, all right, I dig that, I'm gonna start building. And then, then he'll go through sounds and I'll hear something, I'll be like, oh, that's dope. All right, he adds that, then it's like so it's just a little bit of back and forth. And then it's like, then I'll record my stuff and then, he'll give me input and it's like, it's like, all right, well, I think you should, do this with your voice because the beat at this point sounds like this. And, so it's just, putting puzzle pieces together.
Yeah. He's like, nah, it's a little too fast. Slow it down. Like, that's too loud. I can't have this part in here because it's going to fuck with the melody that I'm making. But it was the inspiration for the melody that I came up with. So it's still in there. It's just I don't know. Yeah. It's a cool process.
It sounds like how me and Eric work together because he does all my band stuff. And like after we're done like recording, like everything's done, and like we want to add stuff here or there, I just typically like lay on his couch while he's just going through different sounds, and I'm like, I kind of want it to be this way, and he'll just like go through all of his billions of fucking samples that he has. Like, he bought this new software, and we were looking for a specific sound for the very beginning of the song that we're actually trying to finish up this week. And hours, 3 or 4 hours, just for this one, and it was just one note. That's all it was.
Yeah, you just keep clicking
just
through.
one note, and it was just like all these different sounds, and like from that we found a bunch of cool sounds that we like put to the side for like later use because they're really cool, but not what we're looking for. But we'll just sit there and we'll just even for like that one sound, like it's not just add it just because it's you want that there. It's like finding that right one, and having
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's tough. That's a pretty
Spike will listen to like thousands of kicks just to find one.
It's got to be the right one. You can't. I mean, you can't half-ass it. Like if it's your stuff, like don't half-ass your music. Like
absolutely.
if you want it to sound a certain way, don't just put out something that it could have been better. Like make it the best that it can be.
Yeah, that's why it took us so long to start releasing music together.
Because we just had ideas. It was exactly like that. It was just a raw, unfiltered, unmixed, unmastered, just like, this is a great idea. Here's the whole concept. And then it's like, okay, want to make a new one?
Yeah.
So
I have a question. Is it a question? Is that how you... Would it be a question? Either way.
Are you bringing
you
it back?
asking
the
us
old
if you-
question?
Bringing it back.
Oh,
I'm bringing it back.
since you haven't been here for a while. Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a question.
It's a question.
You-
Actually, it's a request.
It's a request. Yeah, it's a request.
Request. Describe your music using famous actors and actresses.
That is a good question. Famous actors and actresses describe my music.
Well, this is how I don't know.
And you can pick, like, if you want to say, like, a specific act, like, Wesley
Okay.
Snipes from Total
Okay,
Recall.
okay,
Or not Total
okay.
Recall.
So like even in
Blade.
character role, like
Okay.
Demolition Man is what I was thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe Dave Chappelle from Half Baked. Let's see. Will Smith as the Fresh Prince.
That's really what I was about to
yeah.
Honestly, like
say. For real, for real.
if I had to think of anybody that like just from like my first impression of you, that would be it.
Yeah.
That's awesome because like he's like my favorite
It
actor
really would.
ever.
Like, yeah.
That's the highest degree of
Just less
compliment I
corny.
could ever receive.
You said that, and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I used to listen to Big Willie Style and Millennium, and you know, I mean, I watched all of his movies. I was a huge Fresh Prince fan. I have all of the seasons on DVD.
Okay, before you go any further, how do you feel about him as the genie?
Same
plead
way
the
everyone
fifth.
else
Yep.
does.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to speak on that because Will's the man. Will Smith is the man, and I just don't want to ruin his image in my head with that role.
It's over. That trailer looked horrible.
It did look
and you
really
know they're gonna
bad.
make him rap. And that's gonna just be so cringy.
The rapping genie.
Rapping genie because the genie sings.
Look, the only genie that was ever rapping was Shaq. Shazam, yo. You know, that's another one actually. Shaq from in Shazam or Kazam was it?
It was Kazam.
Kazam, because
Kazam.
Sinbad was Shazam.
That
No.
never existed.
It never.
that-
Well,
did it
Get
not?
into the
I
Mandela
don't
effects
know.
now. Yeah. What are you talking about? Did it?
and then he trolled. He put out a picture.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, this asshole. Like, is this real? I love Sinbad.
Oh God.
I don't know. You should. So that wasn't a real movie.
I don't know, man, because I thought it was.
I thought it was too.
I remember it.
I thought I watched it.
Like
don't
that's
know.
what I'm saying. Like, and I just feel like it was just one of those that got overshadowed, that got eclipsed by like,
But nobody can find it. That's the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't exist.
just
Weird.
like
That is
Blockbuster.
weird.
Shouts to Blockbuster, by the way. I miss the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those old days where you just go and rent like a video game or a movie.
Yeah, it was best.
And you can't
right.
tell if it's good.
Yeah.
You gotta get a couple.
That's the
Yep.
exciting. That was the exciting part. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
it is. That's the fun
Anticipation
part of it.
factor. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's like gambling. It's
Now
just
you
like-
wanna go real back. Remember whenever I remember getting so pissed because I would get home and then I'd go to pop my movie in and it'd be the fucking credits.
wasn't rewinded.
And then you had
the
to
person
sit there
was not kind.
and wait.
Yeah, it was not.
The Blockbuster
like
where I live,
40
they fined
minutes.
you like $5 if you
Yeah.
didn't, if you didn't rewind it.
See, I remember being so stoked because we got one of the fast rewinders.
Lucky.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Lucky. I used to have to press mine extra hard to make it seem like it was going faster. That was the worst,
great.
waiting for VHS tapes to rewind. So excited to see the movie and then roll credits.
Then you had to like not look
Not
at
look
the
at it,
screen
yeah.
because like you're watching.
'Cause you're
the whole
watching it in
movie
reverse.
Yeah. Then you get cleared to the very beginning, and then they had like 10 minutes of previews for
That you
other
gotta-
movies,
yeah,
and you got to
yep.
fast forward through that if you don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I always fast forward too.
Good old days.
The good old days. Analog.
Yeah.
A lot of you people out there probably don't even know what we're talking about right now
At all.
You're right.
at all.
That's too bad.
You and your Redbox and your on-demand shit.
Streaming.
Fucking
Oh, I want to watch this.
Even DVDs are old now.
That's
Yeah, I know,
ridiculous,
yeah.
man.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. It used to take me 3 hours to download a 3-minute song. You know what I mean? Now it's like you can download a whole movie in like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You don't even got to download it. You can just stream it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's,
And get mad that it's buffering.
that's what I'm saying. I get mad when my shit's
I'm so
buffering.
sad that this is in standard def right now. I was like,
That's first world problems, man.
Yeah, facts.
See, I always just think about like whenever people start complaining about like technology, I always think about so I was in the military and like whenever we would go out to the field, we'd be out in the field for, days, weeks, whatever. And I always think about, whenever we would go out there, we would bring laptops with movies on them. And it's like, I think of the two sides of that where it's like nowadays, how awesome must that be to just like hotspot your shit because you have service everywhere
Yeah.
and just like stream shit. But then I also think about like, God damn, in like the fucking 70s, that must have been the most boring shit ever. Just being out in the woods, waiting for shit to happen with a bunch of other dudes, just like,
Wow.
So
yeah.
you look at it like it could have been boring, but at the same time, like you think of it now as it would be boring, but back then there wasn't all these other distractions.
You
I
figure
guess that's
something
fair.
out.
Yeah.
Tell stories.
play spades.
I was gonna play
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. I remember not having internet and then
Yeah.
having
Yeah,
internet.
same.
So like
Absolutely.
the kids that grow up,
I
now
had so
don't
much
have
fun
that.
playing outside, finding
Oh,
things
yeah.
finding things to do and making
figure it
things
out.
to
making up stuff.
creating your own games or whatnot and everything instead of just like, yeah, man. I miss playing outside. I really do.
Building forts in the woods. That's what we used to
Yeah,
do.
that was
Yeah.
running.
Let's
into
go
the
throw
woods
rocks
with
in
your
this
homies.
water over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
6 hours skipping rocks.
Yeah.
I used to just dig holes with sticks in the dirt. It's like how deep can you dig with this stick? You know what I mean? Like,
See, I remember like I would never if I ever did have kids, which I hope I don't, but if I ever did,
I hope you don't. I feel sorry for that.
I would never be able to trust them because I can remember like going and playing with like all the other kids from my neighborhood, and it was like every single day was just us trying to see what kind of crazy shit we could do
Yeah.
and not get hurt or killed.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just like, I bet I can climb higher into this tree and then jump out. And like,
Yeah.
no, I'll climb higher. And then, you're both climbing to see who's going to pussy out first and fall out of this
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah.
There's no more broken legs anymore, man.
That was fun for us. Like,
Yeah, bet you can't jump this. Bet you can't jump this creek.
Yeah, jump
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
here, your shoes gonna get wet.
Yep. Then that.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't trust my kids for
Yeah,
sure.
no,
Not.
definitely not.
I got a
mini
son,
me.
and I ask him all the time, like, I don't, because I remember me his age. I was horrible.
I don't trust what you're doing.
Like, okay, what are you doing that I don't know you're doing? You know?
See, my dad, like, I always knew, like, that my dad was crazy growing up, and it never became more apparent until, like, I got to be, like, 12-ish. Because I remember distinctly that we had a conversation where he was basically like, and my dad's a very blunt man, and he basically just told me, like, look, like, I don't care if you're doing dumb shit. Just tell me.
That's what I told
Like,
myself.
You won't be in
Like, I'll
trouble.
help you out if you
won't
tell
be
me
in
first.
trouble. I won't tell your mom. Just like let me know.
Yep.
That way I know if you're hurt. Like, and
Yeah,
I'll come
it's just
get
much
you.
more comforting I feel like as a parent, and it's just like one less thing that.
Because you're not going to stop them.
Yeah, you can't
no,
stop
they're gonna
them
do it either
just
way.
as long as they know.
Not
you
gonna
know?
happen.
Yep.
No.
That's why I started drinking. My parents were like, don't do that. I'm like, okay.
Oh, you said
is-
don't do this.
See, I never had that, so I
Holy
never
shit.
had a reason to like binge drink until I got to college. I was drinking since I was like 9, maybe.
Until you realized how terrible life is, and
But I
then you were
wasn't
like,
like,
alcohol.
Exactly.
Oh, you mean I have bills?
So true.
That's great.
Yep.
So before we get wrapped up, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
Check out Spike on everything.
On everything,
Especially
at-
Music Coin.
Yeah, Music Coin. I'm trying to monetize my music right now. My tag is at Spike Yeezy, SPIKEYEEZY. Everything. Just Google it and you'll find everything. Be on the lookout for all the new music that we're putting out, that we're about to put out. It's
we
just going
release
to be
every Monday.
consistent. Yeah, we drop a new song every Monday. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, every possible outlet you can think of.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music.
Yeah, please go stream my stuff on Spotify. I'm trying to get paid.
And Music Coin.
Yeah, Music Coin. Music Coin,
instant.
for real. Yeah, true. Shouts to that. Music
So wait,
Coin. is shit.
what is this?
Crypto.
I've never
Music
heard
Coin.
of
It's a
Oh,
cryptocurrency
yeah.
that's
I'll
based
definitely
around
send you guys information on that.
blockchain.
I'm
So
trying to get everybody on there.
that's how it's monetized.
that's
Is
dope.
like as long as you have content and people are listening to it, they actually use that to mine the blockchain. I don't know if you know much about that, but
No.
that's why they're
This guy
paying
does.
you is because you're mining it. You know what I mean? Your interactions. And so
It's like 1,000 times more than Spotify. It's like
Yeah.
Well, Spotify, you don't get shit.
You
it's
don't
like-
get shit. Yeah, it's like
right now it's
point-
like 1 cent right now.
yeah, it's like 1/10 of a cent per stream.
Yeah, and Music Coin is 1 cent.
One
but
whole
it was
cent,
at
yeah.
a point it was at 12 cents. So like,
Yeah.
and it's instant. Like as soon as I click
Soon as
it,
you
and you
click
can
it.
split it up between your band instantly too. So if you all have an account, the guitarist gets this.
He does all
this
that.
much,
That's
and this
his
much.
role. He
Yeah,
helps us
he's
with
our
all. He's our tech
technical
guy.
I'm gonna have to check it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely gonna send you guys information. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get a lot of. I want to do something where it's like all the indie people in
Yeah, we're trying to just get a whole network
together,
of people
so we
doing
have
it.
like a streaming station.
Now, do you
Yeah.
get like is it like a sign up thing? Like if I signed up using like your reference, you get
No,
something?
No.
They had it for at first to
Damn.
get it big, but it was just
Yeah.
again,
I was hoping
like,
that they would, so I could
Yeah.
help you that way too. You
So
know?
do you get paid money or do you get paid the actual?
you get paid in
cryptocurrency?
crypto, and you can transfer it within 24 hours. So
Is it its own crypto?
yeah, it's called
Yes.
Music Coin.
Music
It's
Coin.
based
Okay.
on Ethereum,
That's fucking
I
dope.
believe.
That's
It's
fucking
great.
It's
dope.
it's
I
pretty
love
cool.
that.
It's new.
It's going to be huge soon. So
Yeah, they
it's
just
like
dropped
this is the
the
time
app
to get
beta.
on
Yeah, I
right
wanna-
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it is right now is where Twitter was in 2009,
Yeah.
2010.
Shit.
It's
So
just like
it's
the beginning stages of it. They're still working out the kinks and whatnot, and it's just like, you know what I mean? And right now, there's really like not. It's building. Like you can see it and you can tell that there's more activity on it. But even as opposed to when I got on it first, like at the beginning of the summer, like you could just see it starting to take effect, and there's more people getting on it. And I follow their, the Twitter, and it's like they're
promoting artists too, which I
yeah.
like. It's like
it's dope. It's definitely something that any artist or musician or anybody who puts out content should look into. Any kind of content can look into, because if I'm not posting music, I'm posting pictures or just random poems or whatever, and it's just like it can all be monetized.
Oh wow.
It's great because
And it's
people
straight. It's straight to you.
Yeah,
It's
and
no
people are putting out stuff
middleman.
anyways,
Yeah.
so you might as well just create this extra account and get extra money.
hey, I lived about 7 months.
Yeah,
off
he
of
survived
that,
off
straight.
it. He survived off
it.
No, nothing. Didn't do anything else, but just putting out content on all the crypto blogs and
start
stuff
doing
like
that.
that.
Yeah, because
Shit,
there's
that's
there's
awesome.
multiple platforms that essentially mirror the main
The ones we use, like Twitter.
like there's there's a platform like Twitter, there's a platform that's like Facebook, there's a platform that's like SoundCloud, one that's like YouTube, and the interfaces are all very similar too, so they kind of look like them. So and then you just use those as your outlets. So it's like every time I post something on Twitter or Facebook, I go on to these other ones, these parallels, and I just post the same stuff on
Same
those
stuff.
ones. You know what I mean? So
And you get paid for it.
you get paid for it.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah. So
I
Yeah,
know
I'm
people
definitely
making
gonna
like
check that
$10
out.
putting up a
yes,
picture.
definitely.
Like one picture, $10. Like Jesus.
And that's just like basically anybody that's traffic based.
Yeah.
Well,
somebody,
kind
like,
of.
listens to
If
it
you have a
or-
lot of people on it, it helps. But like, it's weighted. So like, if somebody huge likes your stuff, you'll get more of a percentage.
Oh,
Like
okay.
so, like. When I started out, like when I voted on something, it was worth like a penny. Now it's like 50 cents when I vote on somebody's thing. But there's people
shit.
that I've gotten $100 tips from people, and it doesn't come from them. It comes from the ecosystem. So who are the trading of the coins and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's not like
Based
I'm
off of
giving
the-
you $100.
the power
I
of
just
your
think you're
influence.
worth $100
Right.
out of the pot for that day.
Okay.
So that's how it works. It's weighted, and it's based on like they don't hate spammers. Don't like so everything is like policed. So the best content gets pushed up. It's not like
That's fucking awesome.
all the other social medias where it's like the one that posts the most.
Yeah.
It has the most followers. Like I've had 300 followers for most of the time. I made most of the money. So
So I wonder how that works. I wonder if the end user is doing the mining. I mean, obviously
it
the end
depends
user.
what platform. Some have different ways of doing it.
Yeah,
but,
the end user has to be mining to some degree, but I wonder.
yeah.
I wonder how that works.
There's the one I like the most is Steam It. They have you elect miners. You elect them. So that's how they do it. But there's other ones where your actual computer is doing the mining.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the company. But the main one I like is Steam It and Music Coin. So check it out. 2 E's, Steam It.
It's actually
Steam is
super
great.
smart because like that was one of the biggest flaws. Okay, I'm not going to get on a long
you're
tangent
good.
here. I won't. But that was one of the biggest flaws with like crypto mining whenever it first came out was it requires such a massive energy source
Yeah. You
that
didn't make much.
it's not easy. I mean, yeah, you can produce a shitload of coin, but the amount of electricity that you're paying for, it just doesn't pay off. Like all of the people that were mining and mining like very profit based, were doing it with like solar farms. So there's been a big shift from like, super powerful computers that do nothing but mine to instead of having these things dedicated to mining, if you could get, a million cell phones
To just
Yeah.
to mine
plug in real quick.
like 1% of their power, 1% of their CPU processing is going towards mining. Well, if a million of them are doing it and you're not paying for the electricity, like the cell phone,
Yep.
whoever owns that cell phone is doing it, and they don't notice that.
The school's
it's
going to start
minuscule to
doing that.
them.
West
Exactly,
Virginia
just so
is
they can
gonna
listen to a
start
song.
doing that.
Right.
If you use
That's
their
awesome.
Wi-Fi, you have to opt in for them to use it, and they're going to start doing that. That's pretty smart. You know how many kids are in the school?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's like
huge.
millions of dollars a year just from them using their free Wi-Fi. Well, it's not free; you pay for it because you tuition, but you know.
That's pretty fucking dope, though. That's a really cool, like, I didn't know anything like that existed. Like, I thought it was just like Spotify or iTunes. Like,
Oh, yeah,
if you get
it's-
1,000 listens, you'll get a couple pennies.
Yeah,
Like,
it's funny,
I
yeah.
found out about like 2-3 years ago, and I was like, "What the hell?" And like I told a lot of homies, and only a few listened. So I was like,
I mean, crap, dude. I've got like my own music and then my band stuff, and then like,
And you
Yeah.
can post everything that you've ever posted anywhere. You can reuse
That's
it.
what I did for like
Yeah.
6 months. Just
It's like
went
you
back
already
into my
have all
stuff.
that content. You could just
And it,
re-dump it all right back out and
It
get it
seems like
monetized
it's-
again because
it's
it's
like-
your content.
yeah, it seems like it's something that people would actually like search for things that they enjoy on there. It's not like social media.
No,
To
you're
me, it
looking
sounds
for
like you're
something.
looking
I
for.
I
Yeah.
found a lot of dope artists on just even music on this week alone. I'm like, oh, I need to save this guy. This is cool. And a lot of bands and stuff
I'm
like
gonna
that.
start doing that with like my solo stuff and then
yes,
working my
definitely,
band
you
stuff in
definitely
there. For
can
sure.
start utilizing
That's
all
dope.
those, and it's great because all those platforms all link to each other.
They do.
So it's like I used just one app on my phone, and it posts to like multiple everything pretty much. So it's like it's not as difficult as having to do Facebook, then Twitter, then Instagram, then which I hate doing. I hate social media. I hate doing it. It's just like one of those things. Every time we release a song, I get more anxious from knowing that I have to like go
Do
through
that
all
stuff.
these
Do all that.
things than the actual releasing the song. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I spend all this time. I gotta get on Facebook, and then I have like I run like 3 Facebook pages. So I gotta like put posts for like think up. Posts for all those. Then I gotta get on Twitter, and then I gotta do Instagram story, Instagram post, then Facebook
Snapchat.
story, then Snapchat, and it's just
Album
like
art.
yeah, album art, and it's just like all these little things that I just don't want to do.
Yeah.
That you have to do now. I remember I used to just burn a CD, and that would be it.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, all right, bet, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then just go out and hand them out to people. I miss those
Can't do
days.
that
You
anymore.
can't. No, can't. I would like to start doing that again because that's just
great.
like that's just bringing it back to the days.
Thumb drives are cheap enough now.
Thumb drives now. That's the new.
Yeah, but
$2.
then,
That's
I
that's the
mean,
thing we've talked about.
We've
that
talked
before.
about
Like,
that before. Like
people could put anything on that thumb drive. You put a
yeah.
virus. People don't want to put that in
yeah,
their computers.
Exactly. Yeah.
But also, computers don't have thumb drives anymore.
Yeah, like,
so
yeah,
a lot of them are
That's
going
so
away.
crazy.
So, yeah.
That's so crazy.
yeah, I know.
Strange
If
words
somebody
that-
came up to me and they were like, "Hey, here's a free, this is my free album," I'd be like, "No, not gonna plug this into my computer."
That's why download cards are awesome.
Yeah. And honestly, they're for from a musician standpoint, like my viewpoint of it, they're worth the money because you get that full album and you're paying for 100 download cards. What I don't even know the price anymore.
It's whatever the printing is.
Yeah,
I
I
used
think-
to own a download card company way
really?
back when. Yeah, like more than 10 years ago.
Oh shit.
This man does all kinds of crazy
He was on
stuff.
the wave early. He's always
super
Yeah.
early. He's always ahead of the curve.
And then streaming came, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's still useful. Like I know how to do it for per project, so I can build it for just him or
Yeah.
just you or something like that. But as far as a business, it doesn't make sense anymore because you can just stream it now.
Yeah.
So.
But see, I like downloading stuff. I prefer to own my shit, because it's like even like movies, TV shows, whatever. Like I still enjoy that more because it's like, what if it's like your internet goes out and then you're
Yeah.
dependent on streaming and you can't watch shit, you can't listen to shit because you ain't got no connection. It's like I like to be able to play my stuff and watch my shows
Sounds like
whenever
you need
I
to
want
make
to.
a
And you might
Plex.
forget too.
Oh my god. Yeah. Plex is dope.
Yeah, you should
Wait,
look
what
into
is that?
Plex. So Plex is like a media platform, and you make a server.
Oh, okay. I know.
Yeah, and then you don't really have to make a server. Like you could just take like an old laptop or something and just
Put all your movies on it.
put the Plex front end on it, and then you put all your movies on it. And then what you do is, so you can either link it to the internet, which is not I would not suggest that because like if you're pirating movies and then it's on the internet, like that's
Yeah.
not a good thing to do. But what you can do is you can set it up in your house, connect it to your Wi-Fi, and make it to where like
Stream everywhere.
anything in your house could connect to it and
that's
stream
cool.
the
Did that,
movies
at
off.
the,
of
at
it.
the bar. I got a computer
And anybody-
full of stuff, just
Yeah.
so anybody can get on and like.
Yeah, and anybody that like anybody that like say because I'm on my brother's account. Anybody that my brother's
am I.
friends with, we can stream all their movies too.
Yeah.
So like
yeah,
it's like a
cool.
multi-platform.
Like share into
yeah.
like
dope.
one.
We
Yeah.
need a
Server
I still
basically.
have it. It's somewhere in the basement.
But if you
We
are
need to
gonna
split
do
back
it, if
up.
you are gonna share it over the internet, use VPNs.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Good,
Always-
good
always do that.
VPNs. Like pay for
Yeah.
VPNs.
I've gotten a lot of letters from Paramount.
Yeah.
Pictures. Like, how do they know? Like, it's Disney too. Disney doesn't play.
Oh, Disney. Yeah.
You download a Disney movie, you'll get your cable company's gonna call you
Yeah,
up. with an email.
I think I've gotten 2 letters in the mail from just like random shit. I don't know. It was like one was a song and one was a movie that I downloaded at some point. And the song, I was like, I didn't even know I had this song. Like, I
It could be
didn't know-
somebody else at your house, just on your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So you just
Somebody
doesn't
setting me up.
It's not me.
I've gotten them from was it Sony, BMI?
Yeah.
One or two before.
Sony
Yeah.
goes hard too, but
It's
I've
so
noticed it's
crazy
Disney and
that
Paramount go the
happens.
hardest.
Yeah.
I actually got one from Time Warner when I was in high school and I lived with my parents. I was downloading a bunch of music and movies on. It was after LimeWire died. I was using FrostWire.
Frostwire. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Frostwire was after LimeWire.
Man,
LimeWire was
sure.
after Napster.
Yeah.
Morpheus. You know,
Rest in
Morpheus.
peace,
Yeah.
all those downloading.
Well, that's
sites,
coming back with
man.
crypto and the blockchain. That's
Yeah.
the same concept.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, I like that.
Right
That's
back at
dope.
it.
Full circle.
Yep.
I miss Napster though.
Yeah. I made a lot of money downloading CDs and selling them in school. Great.
First kid with that CD
And I was the
burner.
first kid with internet like in the area like that, so it was just like, I was killing it. Killing it.
I just hated like the whole like
You yelling at
LimeWire.
your parents, "Mom, get off the phone!"
You
Try to
download like
this.
a song and then you end up getting like
Bill Clinton?
something random.
Something
Yeah,
else,
not
yeah.
the song.
Not
that
Bill
you
the
want.
Clinton's
song,
voice.
yeah.
I
used to
did not.
put Trojan viruses in the MP3s.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do things like that. So we can control your computer and stuff.
You're one of those people.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not even
Control-
was.
you-
When I turned
was.
18, I realized there's a law.
Well, that's how a lot of this crypto mining shit got started.
Yeah.
Was like early on the bad actors, they were like, hold on, I can make this like really simple bug and just take over somebody's browser
Yep.
and just steal some of their CPU processing power, like enough of it that it makes a difference, but not enough that they actually notice it.
Yeah.
And then it just this hooked file just runs in the background, and they do that to like a couple 100,000 systems, and they're like burning through coins like crazy. And then somebody with a lot more money was like, I could probably charge people for this, and like now we have these new things.
It'll all work itself out. It's the Wild Wild West right now.
Yeah.
But I like the Wild Wild West. That's when the people that made the railroads made the money.
Yep.
So you got to build the lines. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm building sites and stuff like that based on crypto. So when it does blow up, like I'm the AT&T.
Yeah.
Like I'm the railroad systems. Like that's the game. It's
Trying
like
to get it in
when
early.
the internet and .coms blew up. People were so focused about making websites, but the people that are still here are the ones that made
Bought
like,
domains.
bought
Yeah.
domains or like made a service, like a search engine or something like that. Like everything else died off.
See, you want to be the Bill Gates, you don't want to be the Al Gore.
I want to be more like I want to say Elon. I have a crush on him. Yeah, that's my man crush.
Anybody can launch their car into space
Yeah,
just for the
exactly.
fuck of it is my hero.
I have a theory on him though. I think he launched his car to go to Mars, so he'll have it when he leaves us. That's what I think. He's gonna do that.
Yeah, that's not
Just waiting
yeah.
for him out there.
Yeah, it's already
up.
there.
I mean,
2 more years. I
See,
think.
he also like strikes me as one of those guys who's like this close to pulling like a Jonestown mass
He
suicide.
definitely could.
Like he seems a little bit unhinged.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody with that kind of like creative genius
It's
They're a little
scary
crazy.
because if he's
Yeah.
evil, he could just do a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so if Bill Gates was evil, man, we'll be in trouble. Trouble. We gotta watch out for Bezos.
He's just gonna bust out like a dark set of khakis one day, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh shit!"
Lex Luthor.
Bill just got serious.
We're gonna have one soon. They have so much power and money, like they could be bad.
Let's
and
just
ruin
hope.
Yeah.
everything.
Let's just hope Elon Musk has built an Iron Man. Actually, doesn't he already have one?
I think he did build something like that.
He's got an Iron Man suit. So
he is
yeah.
Iron Man,
Yeah, he is. He's our
Tony
real
Stark,
life,
for
real
real.
life Tony Stark.
Yeah.
100%. Because most of the billionaires, they don't really build their own stuff. Except Bill Gates does. The Amazon guy never built the technology; just had the idea to sell books on the
Oh,
internet.
dude, if I had that kind of money and I had like a crazy idea, I'd do it. I'd do the same thing.
That's my goal. I want a lab in my house. When I buy a house, I'm gonna put a lab in it.
Just make
do
Just
stuff,
make
random
stuff.
Do stuff.
Like I mean, shit, dude. What kid growing up like didn't want a fucking flamethrower to set shit on fire?
Yo,
Can
you know
you
what? He
imagine?
did that to troll the state
Yeah.
during the fires. He was like, "I'm gonna make it right up until it's not legal."
He
and he
did
put the
do
right
that.
specs in it to make it legal.
To make it
sell.
legal. Yep. It's like,
Wasn't it
it's
sold
Screw you,
flame
screw
What is
you.
it called? Is it called not a
that.
flamethrower?
like something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like
yeah.
that.
Perfect.
He did threaten her, no, not threaten, but he said that he would like to buy Facebook just so he could delete it,
No, he did say that.
which I think is hilarious.
I mean, Facebook did a lot, but it's time for it to go.
Yeah, I agree.
My grandma's on
As-
it. It's
as-
done.
As
Honestly, all it is anymore is just like an advertising platform.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
yeah,
That's all I use it for.
Yep.
If it wasn't for I would not be using Facebook or honestly any social media. Really,
I think we should pay a
unless-
monthly
if I
subscription
wasn't-
for social media, and we'll get rid of a bunch of crap.
yeah. At
That's
first,
true.
whenever they first brought that up, I was like, "That's fucking shitty." But now, like, you see
We
them,
pay
everything
for
that's
it.
on there. It's like, make them pay for it. Make all these kids pay for it, and you won't like you.
Like
won't
$3
see all
$3
that.
a
I'll
month
be
or
able to
something.
discover like I used to be able to on MySpace. I found so many bands and artists on
Yeah.
MySpace.
It's so
that,
easy.
like, yeah, it was great. Now it's like, fuck, dude.
You just get told. They tell you what you want to see.
Yeah.
They want you to
And
see.
when you post stuff, it doesn't go to everybody, man.
no.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
it
worst.
doesn't.
the worst
Algorithm is
part.
like, nope. They don't want to see
At
this.
all.
Or like if I went and bought a back brace on Amazon,
It shows up in
and it shows up on fucking Facebook.
Yep. Just advertising.
They think I'm a Trump
I
supporter.
was looking at like beard stuff. Yeah.
I type MAGA in like everything.
There's some way to actually get into like deep into your own like Facebook that'll tell you what Facebook thinks your political party is.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
which I think is hilarious. Like based on like what you post, and, like what you share, and like your
I got
like,
the algorithm confused. I only go on Facebook to troll.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
all
the
that is
worst
it.
troll.
This is the worst.
I'll just look for stuff to just mess with people.
It's like, all right, how are we going to trigger people today?
my fucking hero. It's hard to do that whenever you're trying to like promote stuff. I can't go in
Yeah.
there and just be a dick to
Well,
people.
I had to get him. I had to get on him the other day about it. I was like, yo, you should just, it's funny as hell. It's mad entertaining, but it's like that's one less account that we can promote shit from.
Like, I get blocked like at least 3-4 times a month.
Yep.
Is that what you use Voice Atlas for?
Yeah, that's
all you do.
Absolutely.
Dope.
I have other accounts, and like
Yeah.
I've been in meetings where like I have my business, and then they'll be like, "Wait a minute, you're Voice Atlas?" I'm like, "Yeah." They look at me
Your name
different. They're like,
Whoops.
It's messed up, but I don't even know. I know like maybe 10% of the people on my friends list. I just randomly
add people.
all day long. Just I don't know anybody.
You know who that sounds like? Like what you're describing right now? Alex Jones.
Well, see, Alex Jones. Oh man, I don't even know what to think about this guy. He's fucking crazy, but he was right sometimes. That's what makes me mad about him. He's right sometimes. When I do it, I'm doing it knowing what the facts are, and I'm just messing with people. Because people are so sensitive now. It's like,
Too sensitive.
Way
I
too
don't got
sensitive.
time for that. And I hate when people tell me I can't say something. I'm going to say it
Oh,
more.
definitely going to say it.
I'm gonna say it more. I don't care how horrible it is. I'm going to keep saying it. It's just how I am.
Everybody's a judge nowadays, but no gavels.
None. I don't know. We only get outraged for like 3-4 days now, and then it's
Yeah.
on to the next
It's
one.
going, yeah.
Yeah. Attention span.
Yeah,
It's a funny thing.
We're in trouble.
Pros and cons to that.
Human race is done.
The tightrope of
100
social
years.
justice.
Everybody's a warrior until they see you in person.
Yep.
Then they turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
I keep like the only thing I really post, like I'll post like selfies and
So many selfies.
like about, and then stuff about like the podcasts
Yeah.
and like the band. Like I don't like post
Usually
my personal,
accompanied by selfies.
by selfies.
I just scroll down the timeline and see what everybody's mad about today, and just take
Yeah.
the opposite view.
Yeah. I never like. I used to do that and like, oh, this happened today. Fucking blah blah. It's like nobody
used to do
fucking
that too.
cares.
I don't really
Yeah.
give a damn what's
No,
going on.
that's 'cause it's funny.
I just do it because it's just funny. People get so angry. It's like, why are you angry about this dumb shit?
It doesn't even affect you.
Outrage.
People in the middle of America worry about Mexicans. It's like, bruh, you've never seen one. Doesn't make sense to me.
Somebody just got triggered right now.
Oh, I got a hate mail. It's hate@voiceatlas.com. And I definitely get hate mail.
Email all your concerns and comments.
I love
to
them. I
Vance.
respond.
That's awesome.
Facts.
That's what's up though, because it's like, all right, cool. I know if you're gonna hate, if you need an outlet for that hate, which a lot of people have, there's something you can take it out on. Because right now it's just like it's just oversaturating every social media platform, which is why really one of the reasons why I hate it is because I can't get on Twitter anymore without just seeing so much trash and garbage, and it's just like. And then it's just like I realized like these are real people saying this shit. It's like
YouTube comments.
I just
Oh my
scroll
God.
through.
YouTube comments are the worst.
I just scroll until I see a meme, and then I stop and I look at the meme, and then I scroll to the next meme,
Just waiting for the next meme.
and like that's it. Like
Yeah, but everybody's posting the same meme now, so it's like my whole timeline is full
It's
of
just
that
like
meme
the
of the
same
day.
Yeah.
meme.
Exactly.
My favorite new one, which I think Eric actually sent it to me, is that picture of the statue of the peanut. I don't know if you've seen it, but it just says below it, "This pleases the nut."
I think I've seen a few of those. Yeah, yeah, I've seen
Down
a few.
there. That's my new favorite one.
It's a good one.
that is kind of terrifying.
It is. It
That's
looks like you.
super
That's what's
scary.
terrifying.
Looks like the Little Shop of Horrors plant.
Damn.
I need to moisturize.
These people
back.
don't know what Little Shop of Horrors is.
Oh yeah, great movie. Great.
Awesome movie.
No idea.
Little Shop of Horrors with what's that guy's
Rick
name?
Moranis?
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, yeah.
The plant
Seymour.
grows up. Seymour,
Oh.
feed me, Seymour. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's like a plant that like,
That was a blockbuster movie I got.
yep, it's like
That
starts
sounds
eating
really
starts eating
familiar.
people.
I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. I haven't seen the movie.
It
but
was
I
a
do know
book.
what you're
I
talking
think. It was
about.
a book and an old movie.
It's
and
an
they redid
old
it.
movie, yeah.
I think they redid it.
Back in the Rick Moranis days.
Yeah,
Back before
Honey,
he
I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Right.
retired.
Yeah.
he retired on top though.
Gone
Yeah,
too
he did.
young.
Facts.
On
He
top.
did like those two plus like Little Giants.
And then he was
think.
like,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, I'm done.
And
I
it
want
was
to
like,
be with my
boom.
family. I'm
Yeah.
rich. I'm done.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. Like,
But we all
did
still
his wife
remember
die?
Rick Moranis.
Or- 'cause I know that-
I don't know. Maybe, but I just
Yeah,
know he
I
wanted.
think his wife died.
and that's why he was like, I just
Yeah.
want to be with my kids.
Yeah.
So.
Which, like, kudos to him. Like, that's badass. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
a lot of actors would have just been like, "I'll hire a fucking nanny and just keep doing
Right,
it." You know,
you
but
know.
he was just
I
like,
mean,
wanna
he
be with my
was
family.
he was huge at that
Oh, yeah.
time. So like,
Yeah.
he didn't need the money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So.
That's nuts.
We just got way off topic there. We were going to wrap it up, but but yeah, everything, all of your social media, we'll link it in the comments, or not
All
the
right.
comments, the fucking description below.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah,
This
he's
episode.
Spike Easy on
We
everything.
can
I'm
also put it in
actually
the comments.
Dommy Gills on
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
Yeah, he's Dommy Gills.
DOMMYGILLS. You can find me on everything. I just post random music stuff, not much of my own, but things that I think are interesting. So
Cool.
find all my music on his page.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming
Hey,
out.
thank you for
Absolutely.
having us,
Thanks for
man.
having
It was
us.
a great time.
Thanks, Jed, for actually showing up for once.